Hi guys, so my friend Shirin and I, we run a podcast called Getting Lost with Archit and Shirin, and just last week we crossed 1,000 listens. And to celebrate that, we wanted to make a video podcast as a bonus to our existing content. And we wanted to talk about sandwiches, specifically the questions that we've all faced, that people keep on asking us about sandwiches. We just compiled all of them, and Shirin, our producer Natasha, and I will answer all of those questions. I hope you like it. We've kind of stitched this with using videos from 3 different places. I'm in my room with my light on my bed, with a mic in my hand because my phone's mic doesn't work, and everyone had different issues as well. But I hope that you like it, and I hope that you follow our podcast because this is what you see every time. So let's get started.
To me, no bread is wrong. All bread is good bread. All bread deserves to be elevated into a sandwich. And I know that Archit is going to talk to you about like brioche and sourdough and like sandwich bread and what's good for what. Let him do that. I'm going to tell you, just accept bread as it is. Unless there are big gaping holes through which ingredients are going to fall out. Or if there's something wrong with the bread, like if it's gone bad, like there's mold or there's bad smell or it's burnt, there is no reason for you to reject it. Just accept the bread you have, make the most of it. You're gonna love it.
I love sandwiches and I eat them all the time, and I could probably have it every meal of the day because like bread is great, no complaints. Is that a right kind of bread for sandwiches? I think so, and I think it depends on like the type of sandwich you're having. But if you're having like a club sandwich, I wouldn't do like some like heavy crusted bread and things like that. I think I want something thin. I'll go for like a regular store-bought bread from like Britannia.
So there are specific breads that are there just for sandwiches. Funnily enough, they're also called sandwich bread. But apart from sandwich bread, there are different ways that you can make bread and use different kinds of bread. So ciabatta is one that is super crusty. It is hollow from the bottom, which means that it's used for things that are super juicy. So you'd put like a pulled pork or a pulled grapefruit in it, which will have lots and lots of liquid, which will actually break down the bread. Whereas something like a sourdough should be always used as a tartine or an open face sandwich, which by the way is a sandwich and it's not like a toast because people are just too much. But anyway, that's one of the things that you can really do. So I think every sandwich and every way that you want to make sandwiches is different, and there are multiple facets to it. My only opinion is that if you are confused as to what you want but you just want to make a good sandwich, go for sandwich bread. Sandwich bread is essentially regular multigrain whatever bread that you get at in your store, but it is high gluten, so it just has more wheat gluten in it, and that's what makes it super crispy.
The one mistake I would say you need to avoid is making a sandwich that is too dry. You may think you're doing yourself favors by like scrimping on ingredients, but you're not. A dry sandwich is really difficult to eat. You can try to compensate with external factors like mustard or ketchup or a hot sauce or whatever. It's never going to be good. Your sandwich in itself needs to be just the right amount of, and I'm going to say it, moist. It cannot be completely dry and be saved by ketchup. It's just not going to work like that. I know, it's a very strong opinion. That's who I am.
I think Shirin talked about this, but the definite one that is really common is dryness. So don't make your sandwiches too dry. But the one that I personally think is a challenge that a lot of sandwiches that have had is crunchiness. I think crunchiness is super important in sandwiches, whether that's in the form of adding chips to sandwiches. I love adding chips to sandwiches, or adding some pickled onions, or just any kind of fresh greens that actually give it bite is super important, and definitely something that regardless of the kind of sandwich, even a PB&J, I like the crunchy peanut butter. So really just that's the reason I think crunchiness. Yeah.
I don't think I have like a favorite sandwich. My ideal sandwich would have like a mix of like some sort of protein. So I'll do like a chicken, some like spread. I generally don't really care for like mayo, but Fun Foods has a great sandwich spread, which I do end up using a lot. Like a dahi dip is great for a sandwich. Then I want like some like raw vegetables, and I don't like cucumbers and tomatoes in my sandwich, but I'll do like bell peppers, always some sort of like relish. or like gherkins or olives or jalapenos. Or like those red peppers that you get, those do really well. And then I always want like a leafy option in my sandwich. So the best, according to me, is to just do lettuce, because somehow, like, if you don't shred it, it maintains its like crunchiness and crispness. And yeah, I think that's my like ideal sandwich. When it comes to like cold cuts and stuff, I don't like them completely raw, so I'll always like saute, no, not saute, but whatever, like fry them on the pan and then put that into my sandwich. But yeah, I think that's about it.
My favorite recipe is as basic as I am. It's a grilled cheese. You need bread for it, any kind of bread. You need hard cheese. So here you discriminate. You don't do soft cheese. You don't do a watery ricotta or a super like fresh mozzarella. And you try not to do processed cheese because, better cheese makes a better sandwich. And you grate it, put it on the side. Take 2 slices of bread, thin layer of some moisture. So whether it's your hot sauce or it's mustard or it's ketchup or it's Tabasco, little bit of that, all the cheese, another like lightly layered slice of bread, and on top of the top slice of bread you put some mayo. Your pan has come to heat. There's a little bit of butter, not too much because you're not looking for a pakoda. You put the mayo size down, press. That's the secret. Press and be patient. Press while the bread cooks and the cheese melts. And now put some mayo on the top side, which is now the top side, and then flip it over. So the mayo side is down again. What you have is a golden, crispy top of the sandwich. And you can believe for sure that that's what's going to happen to the rest of the sandwich. So it's going to become nice and crusty. It's going to have a lot of good flavor. Your cheese is going to be melting. It's going to be delicious. Just eat it hot. Don't wait. Do not microwave a grilled cheese sandwich. But yeah, that's the recipe. It's really simple. You just got to be careful about the amount of butter you use and just be 100% sure about the mayo. I know it sounds weird, but it's a well-known trick. I have not come up with it. I am not using you as my guinea pigs. It's not my original thought. Some very, very famous chefs also do this. So if my opinion is not good enough, let theirs be. Try the mayo. It's going to add some flavor.
I'll be honest with you, I don't have a favorite sandwich, but I do have some that I really, really like. I don't spend a lot of time making sandwiches as much as I want to. But one of my really favorite go-to sandwiches are eggs Kejriwal. They're an open-faced sandwich, so Natasha would agree that... Natasha would disagree that that's even a sandwich, but I really like them. The fact that there is a crunchy element, there's a cheesy element, and then there's some nice protein in the form of an egg. It's just my favorite, and I think there's a recipe on my blog, so you can go check it out.
I don't have a secret sauce. I like Nutella. So if you ask me what's my go-to, it's Nutella.
I don't have a secret sauce. I don't have an answer to this question. Cut it.
I do have a secret sauce. I use it for all my fried stuff as well as my burgers. It's called a fry sauce. And the fry sauce is basically made with mayo, sriracha, the brine of a pickle or an jalapeno, and some salt. It's just a really, really simple, smooth dip that kind of eradicates most dryness. It accentuates spiciness, and it adds sugar to things that might need some sweet. It's really easy. It's up on the blog as well. So if you just search for it, you'll find it.
Okay, pickles, olives, and jalapenos are 3 things which alone do not a great sandwich make. But what they do is, in an existing sandwich, they add just the right amount of character and just the right amount of flavor. So, say you have a really heavy pork sandwich, like a pulled pork, lots of barbecue sauce, oh my god, delicious sandwich, right? But you need to cut through the sweetness. You need to give your, not user, I'm a marketer, sorry. You need to give your friend or yourself something to really, grab onto and not feel overwhelmed by the sandwich. So you then put in some jalapenos, or you put in some pickles, or you put in some olives. Don't put all 3 together, that'll be weird. But use them as tools to elevate an existing sandwich and make it better. And you will be really, really happy with the results.
I'd always prefer to have just olives, but I wouldn't put all 3 together. I think they're one of the few ingredients that are perfectly acceptable in a sandwich and maybe not on like other things. Though pizzas do great with olives and jalapenos, not pickles. Pickles, I think, are a very like peculiar taste and flavor, and I think everybody has their own preferences. I really do like chopped up pickles with like a little bit of mustard, and like it becomes like a relish, and that on a sandwich is really nice. But then again, you have to be prepared for that like sweet and salty flavor in your sandwich, and a lot of people don't like that. I'm not very picky with it, so I'd say go for it. Put whatever you have into it, but don't put all, because like that's too many flavors mixing up, and I think that is offensive.
If you look at pickles, pickles are sweet, olives are salty, and jalapenos are spicy, and they're all lactobrined, which means that they're all made to have some sort of fermentation. They add acidity, which is the basic thing that they add. But you use these three different things in three different ways, basis of what you want other than just acidity. Because if I just wanted acidity, I'll just put lemon juice, right? But this is basically lemon juice plus something. So if you want something to have a little bit more sweetness, you'll add pickles. If you wanted them to have a little more saltiness, you'd add olives. And if you wanted something spicy, you guessed it, jalapenos.
A good savory jam requires onions, in my opinion and experience. So if someone who doesn't like onions is telling you to put onions in your jam, must be the only way. So my recipe for today is a bacon jam. You take a frying pan, you put some bacon in it, cook the bacon down, pull the bacon out, throw some chopped onions into the bacon fat, cook them down, let them sweat and get over that phase. So they have released all their moisture. Now they're just cooking down, and you put in 2 spoons of brown sugar, not sugar free, not stevia, none of that jazz. You just put in proper dark brown sugar, and you cook it down, and then it'll start caramelizing. You will get this really interesting smell in your kitchen, and that's when you know that you have to now put in a dash of vinegar to deglaze the pan. So the brown bits at the bottom of the pan, and that's a good thing, will come out, and suddenly everything will come together. You throw in your chopped bacon. That's your jam. You're done.
I'm not much of a jam person, regardless of sweet and salty. I think Shirin will talk about the bacon onion. Yeah, I think she will talk about the bacon onion jam that she really likes, even though she hates onion. But I think what I really enjoy are oils. So Natasha got me used to this really nice chili crisp oil that I've been making over the quarantine period, which is super nice, and also just other kinds of oil. So whether that's just taking some basil and cooking it down with some olive oil, or the alla olio sauce oil. Again, that's a garlic oil. It's really really nice, and I think oils can do a lot for sandwiches. But not necessary, not needed at all.
Always a hot sandwich, even if it is a Nutella and a banana sandwich, you need to make it hot.
Cold sandwiches. I do not like hot sandwiches, I think.
Both. I like both sandwiches. I think a cold sandwich is great for its own use, and hot sandwiches are great for their own.
Ketchup or muesli. Ketchup or mustard. Always ketchup. Always ketchup. Mustard is, in my opinion, disgusting.
Ketchup or mustard? For everyone who knows me, they know I don't touch ketchup, so definitely mustard.
Oh, this is hard. Mustard.
Sides, yes, but not food. You need liquid sides. You need a shake if you're doing a savory sandwich. And if you're doing a sweet sandwich, you need a crisp ginger ale, or you need Coke Zero with tons of ice. And that's how the world works. And that's how it should work. So, there you go.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this video, and I hope that you listen to us on our podcast. We're available on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, literally anywhere that you listen to a podcast. Other than JioSaavn, we'll get there soon. Thank you.